welcome to my knitting podcast. Thank you so very much for being here with me today. My name is Jolanda and I'm coming to you from the Netherlands. So, for all returning viewers, thank you so very much for being here again with me. It's been a while, as you all know, and for all new viewers, thank you so very much for checking out my channel. Okay, this is a podcast also with cats that are always seems to want to steal the show. So I have been up to many things, good and bad. We all have that, right? I will keep the personal talk for the end. See another cat approaching. That is Victor. I have been knitting, thankfully. I was a little bit in not so knitting mood because the last podcast, or it was kind of a vlog maybe. I just had my collars done and they were so different as I expected. And then suddenly I realized, oh, all my yarn is the wrong color and all my clothes are the wrong color. And I just like, oh, all the project on my needles felt like, do I even want to finish that? And then my son said, Mom, of course you can wear whatever. And I knew that, but I mean, there was a reason I wanted to get my colors done because I wasn't so sure I was picking the right color clothes for me. And of course, if you get your colors done, you don't do it because you don't care. You just want to, yeah, do something with it. So that was a bit of a struggle in my head. And yeah, well, I got over that, thankfully. And I heard more people say, those are the colors that suit you the best, but they might be very boring for you. So, that all said, I started a few new projects. I dyed yarn in the colors that are supposed to suit me better. There's a whole circus going on here. They're usually not allowed in my yarn room. That's probably why they're so excited to be in here. They always wait in front of the door, or maybe mommy's gonna open the door. But one of the cats is really fond on chewing on wool, and that's just very unhealthy for the cat also. So I dyed wool. I started a few new projects. Yeah, and I'm wearing one of the projects I finished. It was one of the 12 cast-ons of 2024. That was a cast-on party that was hosted by Yarn and Yarns. And I thought, I'm just going to finish it. First of all, the white is not right and the blue is not right, but I like the combination anyway, so hey, whatever. This is, let me see, the butterfly sweater, and it was actually cast on number 1 that I did. So I just took a few pictures. I hope there are some that actually look like something. I will put it in here for you. So it is very wide sleeves. There's a picot edging on the sleeve. And it, I like it much better than I thought I would. I'm just probably gonna wear it just like this with something underneath. Maybe I choose a color underneath here that suits me better because black and white are not the best colors for me. Yeah, it's made out of drop snort. So it's a nice and drapey yarn, which of course is a thing. If you have sleeves like this, you want it to drape. Yeah, I really like it. It was here on a dress form drying, and I just thought, oh, I just made notes of what I had finished, and then I thought, oh wow, this is something I finished. So I just put it on, and now I can enjoy it while I'm talking to you. So I just think I forgot to pick one of the finished objects, but I can put in a picture here for you. It is the second version of the dog walker. and it is also made out of hand spun. And you know, I just love the colors, but if you look at the picture now, and as what I know now, now I know why it doesn't look so right. Because those are the colors. When I went to the hairdresser, I just cut my hair. I did not, they did. But they put on a black cape, you know, hairdresser. I just looked like I rose from the dead. All the color was left from my face. I never noticed it unless I went to that workshop. And then suddenly she said, you know, I put something dark over you. And you can only see the dark. Like I just disappeared. And that was just horrible. And I thought, I look so bad. And then the cape went off, and I just put my hands to my head, like, oh, I really like this. But that black was horrible. So the sweater too is very dark blue. I thought, okay, that would be nice around my face. It was a soft color. I mean, the yarn was soft. The color wasn't soft. The yarn was soft. But yeah, no, did not make me happy. But that doesn't matter because it is a beautiful sweater and it's fully out of hand spun. I picked all the 100 gram skeins and whatever I could find and mixed it into a stripy sweater. And it is super nice. It's all out of hand spun, and it is super warm for winter. It has a nice warm color. So if you're cold, it doesn't matter what you look like, right? And thankfully, I put one of the finished objects here because I thought I was prepared, but I took everything from downstairs and I totally forgot to pick my finished objects from where I'm up right here. This is the green machine. It was also one of the 12 cast-ons, so it's quite good. Cast-on number 11. And again, I could keep talking about the color, which is kind of useless. I have pictures of me wearing this. I don't think it doesn't look that bad. It is a very, I love this color. That's probably why I think it doesn't look so bad, because the color is really appealing to me. The yarn is cotton with acrylic, and it is very nice and soft, but cotton is always hard on your hands. And I thought maybe with the acrylic it would be better, but I don't know. I really like knitting with wool. The other thing, if you try to block lace in an acrylic yarn, yeah, though it can't really be acrylic and cotton. They're both not really good in blocking. But I just let it dry, and this is not a lace like it really has to be blocked out very intensely. But it's a nice top. It's a nice top. It it is a free pattern. I think it's a free pattern. So it has, you have to sew the underarms together and then you pick up and knit an I-cord, and it all rolls in because you just cannot block it. But it is a nice top. I wore it and it is very soft. You would not say it is cotton at all, so that is nice. And that is a yarn from Super Garner, and I have something more. I think they're over there. But it doesn't matter. It's 50% acrylic and 50% cotton. So, finished objects. Yes, I did make progress on many objects though. Many of the 12 cast-ons, they are all bright colors and purple and red, and those are colors that I should kind of avoid. But I decided I will definitely finish them. If there is a project that I think, okay, that did not turn out exactly as I hoped for, I might just say, okay, I'm not gonna finish that because it takes a lot of hours anyway. But I think I'm good. Yeah, I have to be good. Okay, let's do a little bit of spinning. Yes. So now I have to remember. I think for my birthday, my youngest son Patrick, he gifted me a lot of undyed, unspun wool. I mean, I could choose. He gifted me whatever I bought. Um, of course, I cannot remember what what wool was what. I probably can figure it out. I'm pretty sure the first one I did. I mean, this is supposed to be a good color, the peach kind of. So I made, I think I ordered 500 grams of every fiber. So there was Shetland, there was Polworth, BFL, and something with tencel. So I remember the first one was Shetland, and I thought, oh, this has been so amazing. And the yarn is very light and lofty, and it was very bouncy fiber. And I know Shetland wool is also very favorite. I think Marie Wallen and um, who is the other designer from England? Um, well, I can't remember her name now. She also has yarn clubs and designs patterns, and no name escaped me. But it doesn't matter. Shetland wool is a yarn that is also used in colourwork, and it gives very warm and light and airy sweaters. It has a nice stitch definition, so a lot of words. So this is I do a dye technique that is giving this marbled effect. I actually took a video while I did that. It has not been posted yet, but maybe I will do it as I get into things again. So basically you let the colors mix in the pot, so you don't pre-mix them, you just, and so because of the water it will just give a marbled effect, and that gives also a very nice effect on the wool. And this, if everything is going well as I thought it did in my mind, this will not give very obvious stripes. It will just be a marbled yarn. So I love it. It's beautiful. It's pretty. It's would be something I would definitely buy if I saw it in the store. But we will not, because we make it ourselves. So there is a light purple that apparently I can wear. I can show you briefly the colors, because I was a blue person, all shades of blue. I thought pastels were not my color, and I just love purple. Well, that was a very big shock, because none of that is on here. There are brown screens, a lot of on this side. I thought I could not wear that. It's like the wool white and beige and cream. That is apparently all good for me. There is an lavender mauvish color there, and that is what I try to accomplish with this. I think that went pretty well, right? I think it did. So the reds are they are all muted colors. They are not very bright, and yeah, there are there are not many saturated, some of them, but it's not like a bright red or the bright blue. That's just not on here. There's a teal, and it's just all soft colors. Apparently I'm a soft autumn, so if anybody's interested. So again, this is also amazing, beautiful yarn, dyed in the same way as the other one. It has so many, I mean, I did not use many colors, but they turned out in so many shades. I think you can see that. And it's just so lively. It's not an one dead color as you get with the commercial dyed yarn. I mean, if you look at this, it has no variation at all, and this has so much variation, so much depth, and I'm so looking forward in using this. It is really beautiful. To be honest, I always gravitated to the softer colors, but in my mind, that was not for me. I'm still in shock. I'm still cannot understand quite. But I saw it with my own eyes. She did not analyze like, okay, this is the color of your hair, this is the color of your eyes. She put something silver around my neck and something gold around my neck. And I was like, uh-oh, I could immediately see it. And she said, Look at your jawline. Look at the color of your skin. I have some specks of red. You can see that very clearly. If I put silver on, if she put red, gold on, it was like it just became one beautiful color. It was like magic. Even the eyes started sparkling, lighting up because of the right color. It was like mind blowing. I had no idea anything like that did even exist. So, okay, enough of that because before you all expel me from your YouTube channel because I talk too much about color. But I found it very interesting. Yeah. Okay, back to the knitting. So I did that spinning. I still have more wool that I already dyed, and I have to spin up. I will spin up because I like spinning. Yeah. So and then I had some sweater. I tried on many sweaters, right? And I had some sweaters that I thought, okay, they either don't fit right, or the yarn didn't behave well with the pattern, or I thought, that could have been way better if I did this or that. So I could not separate with the sweaters yet, but it was in my head, and I thought, okay, if I want to do something, I will reknit it. And I'm not really fond of reknitting the same pattern over and over again, but apparently that's the thing right now. So I always loved the Birkin sweater. I made it. I totally uh, cut off the yoke. I made a video of that. I have extensive notes on that on my Ravelry page. I redid the yoke because it didn't fit right. It was better, but maybe I wore it once for a podcast, but I did not enjoy wearing it at all. And now I tried it on. It's like, oh, it's such a beautiful sweater. It's just not me. It feels, ugh, no, did not feel right. I did it in Stylecraft Special DK. Many people like that because it's a very affordable yarn. It was, of course, a DK yarn switched out because the original was in fingering weight yarn. And you can totally do that. I do that a lot actually, and it's quite simple if you know how to do it. And I will talk briefly about it with another sweater coming up. So the Birkin sweater. And so I wanted to download it, and then I saw, hey, she updated the pattern and made a new version. And I wanted to compare the old and the new one, but the old chart is gone as soon as you update the pattern, which was a kind of I was interested in to see what happened, but she stated she made more increases because many people were kind of complaining about the fit and how it did not work for them. There were a lot of people who did like it, but I think it has to do with how much ease you have. If you have a very oversized sweater, you get away very easily with fit issues. If you want a more fitted sweater, I think you will encounter the issues sooner. Like it's too tight in the shoulders, I cannot move my arms. Then if you have a very oversized one, so I think that was it. But I was very pleasantly surprised that she updated the pattern and she reworked the yoke. So as wool white is a thing now, I chose my undyed yarn. I do dye yarn for new viewers. Um, and it is a sock yarn. It's a sock weight yarn. It is 75% superwash wool, and it is 25% nylon. I always used muslin-free yarn. That means the sheep were not harmed while being shaved or harvested wool. And that seems to be a thing, though. It's horrible, but there are very careless farmers who just want to get the wool off and by that harm the sheep. So this is I also, if I dye my yarn, I try to be mindful of not wasting water, reusing it, using I mean non-toxic dyes and all that. There's always some waste, which is unfortunate, but actually if you measure out the amount of dye for the yarn, you get very clear water in the end that you can very easily reuse, and the citric acid is still in the water. So if you keep the water and you use it next day, you don't have to add any more acid, which is also good. Okay, the Birkin sweater. Apparently, I have a lot to say. That happens. I mean, I'm very happy I'm in this state right now that I'm really excited about telling many things to you. So the Birkin, here it is. Look at that. That is a totally different color scheme than what I would normally choose. And I must say, I absolutely love this. So this is also a very budget friendly version, I must say. So I use my own undyed yarn, which for me, of course, is not expensive. I do sell my yarn for I think €6.50 per skein. So even if you would buy it, it would not be an expensive sweater. And the rest I used is Old Drops Flora, which is also a very affordable yarn, and especially if you watch out for the drop sales, because then even from the affordable yarn you get like 30% off or something. So every color will be normal price range around €2 something, and in a discount even below €2. So you only need one 50 grams ball for each color. So I did add some bubbles this time. See, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, I think five, maybe 6 colors. I don't know. My brain is not working. It is all on my project page. So what I decided to do and what is working very well for me is just cast on an amount of stitches after the ribbing, and just I work the whole yoke, and then I pick up the stitches and work the neck ribbing later on after I tried on this, and then I can decide, okay, how much do I need to much fabric I want to get rid of to get a beautiful yoke, beautiful neckline. I mean, I have the problem, it stretches out usually, or I cast on too tightly, and many times I have to rework the neckline, and that is not something I really want to do. So I decided to do it this way. I can pick it up later, and even if you do it later and you think, okay, this is not right, you can so easily unravel it again, which is it's a big benefit as far as I'm concerned. So I think I am almost ready for the ribbing, the bottom hem, and then it's sleeves. I have a lot of sleeves going on at the moment, which is okay. So this is the Birkin, and it is a new version, and I'm interested to know if any of you actually already knitted this newer version, or if you even know it did exist, because if this fits well, that is a really big thing she did for us knitters, to rework the yoke and made it a better fit. That is really amazing. I'm really thankful she did. Yeah. So the Birkin, that is something new I started. Then I also did the Alpine Bloom, and I made it out of handspun, but I'm very confused because somehow I'm either missing some yarn or I don't have enough for sure. So the Alpine Bloom is also a Caitlin Hunter pattern, and I must say it's quite heavy also, but it is beautiful. And I have only one cake left from my hand spun this dark. So yeah, I can finish the body and then do some ribbing cuffs for short sleeves, and then pick up the neckline and then finish this, because there's definitely not enough for long sleeves. But I think it's yeah, well, it has to be okay. There's nothing I can do about it. There's just nothing more, and what is not there you cannot use. So yeah, It is, I must say, it is. This is quite heavy, so I think I had 400 grams, but somehow the yarn is very dense in comparison to the Shetland wool. This is a very heavy yarn, a very dense yarn, and this weighs maybe 300 grams. So then it only makes sense there is not more yarn, unfortunately. But we do with what we have. I think the yoke turns out very nice. It's very pretty. The Alpine Bloom. Caitlin Hunter has really, really beautiful patterns. So this, I will finish the body first and then the neckline. And I mean, there is no way I can make long sleeves. And somewhere in between sleeves is not something I enjoy. I rather put on a long sleeve tee underneath than have 3/4 sleeves. That many people like that, but for me it's not something I enjoy. So I think it was originally a also a pattern for fingering weight yarn, and this is thicker than that. So I definitely went down a size to get the right size. So I didn't try it on yet, so I'm very interested to see how this is working out. So my two sons just love to wear my hand knit socks, and many socks are starting to wear out. They are really wearing out. They wear them every day, and I wash them, of course, regularly. They can start to get thin under the sole. There are not holes, and it's just so thin you can see through it. So of course, there's always a demand on socks, and I have many sock tubes I'm turning into socks. Um, but this was actually a very nice pattern. It is a pattern for gaugeless socks, so you can use any yarn and any thickness, and it is a really nice pattern. The pattern is by Elizabeth Felgate, and you can find it on my Ravelry project page. I knitted several socks actually. So I bought a 6-ply yarn, and I started it. So I'm working the gusset right now. It looks a little bit like hand spun. It's really nice. It is for my youngest son Patrick, and I thought, okay, I take a thicker yarn. So he is wearing his work boots all the time, and they are yeah. He needs some hard wearing socks. Well, they are being abused for sure. He walks a lot on his job, and but then he said, "Mom, those socks are so nice. I'm not gonna wear them in my working boots because I'm going to destroy them." I already made up my mind. He said, "I have some really nice new socks. I will keep them separate. I will not wear them in my boots." Well, okay, that's very considerate of him. And he's right. If he walks through the water and the boots, they just, I mean, it's leather, but the socks will turn blackish. It doesn't look so nice anymore. It looks horrible actually. But he keeps the socks separate, he says, and then yeah, well, very good, very good from the young man. And then I a while back after the podcast last time. I mean, it's been 2 months, right? I see, of course, just like anybody else, you see on Instagram advertisements of yarn, and I saw the company called Yarns from Italy. They have beautiful boxes, and they are enough for a sweater quantity up to size XL, I think. And they said if you need more yarn, you can just buy an extra comb. They are very thin yarns. In my opinion, at the time I did a lot of it with the knitting machine. Those were the combs you bought. They are thin, you can just easily break them. But they combine them, so I think I made a picture of the box. So you combine the yarns and you knit them together in something nice. So I had that box here for a while, and then suddenly things bubble up, and it's I really want to try that yarn, but it's kind of hard because of course the gauge will vary very differently of the needle size you choose. You have to combine the yarns first. So what I did, I think I had 4 cones. There were 2 similar. There was one and that had a little bit of cashmere in there, and there was one that was just a strand of gold glitter thread. So I did it on my wool winder, all 4 together. I think it was 4 or 5. I think 4. So I have cakes. I had cakes like this. And so the strands are already together. That was so much easier for me than knitting from the cones. The cones just tumble over and they got stuck. And so this absolutely stunning. It has a beautiful halo. It has that gold glitter in there. And then I start making a swatch, and I can put it in here for you. I think I choose needle size 5, and I was thinking about what pattern do I have that might suit my yarn. You can do it like that. Usually you have the pattern first, and then you go through your stash and you see if you have any yarn that would match it. But I often have it otherwise, also with hand spun. You first have the yarn and then you find a project for it. So I was thinking about the ranunculus because that is kind of a famous pattern also for the loose gauge. I knitted it once, not in a very loose gauge. The sleeves were too short. I still have it because actually it is a green color that is good for whatever I'm experiencing right now. So I did wear it a few times, but again, I really like my sleeves really long, and those are it is just yarn that some yarn grow widthwise and then it shortens lengthwise. This is just how it goes. That you can find out doing swatches, but not always, because sometimes this happens while wearing or sometimes it happens while washing a few times. So um, so what I did, I created a fabric that I liked. And then you start measuring how your gauge is. So um, the key number is the width, of course, how many stitches per 10 centimeters. That is, or 4 inches, no, depending where you are. So for me, it's quite easy because my bust is about 100 and my hips about 110. So you have to consider all kinds of things. How loose, so how much ease. Ease is actually how much bigger your garment is than you are. So how oversized it is. So I usually choose my hip size, and that means I will have 10 centimeters positive ease around my bust, which is it is very common. It's very normal. I could choose a smaller size depending on the constructions. If you have a set in sleeves, it is very important that it fits you around the shoulders. So if you have a big difference about for the bust or the hips, then you might have that your shoulders don't fit. You have it too wide. So then in that case, I would choose definitely the size for my bust and make it an A-line, which is also very simple to do, right? Many patterns have it already. You just increase as soon as you get around the waist. Probably you could do a bit higher depending on where your biggest part is, of course. So you could do an A-line, but for the yoke sweaters, it's usually comfortable having a bit more room around the shoulders anyway. Um, so that is actually what I did. So I'm not looking at the size, I'm looking at how many stitches do I need for my widest part. So that's what I figured out. And then you start looking in the pattern, and usually that is the stitch amount you find after separating for the sleeve. So you just read through the pattern until you come at that point. Okay, you have separated for the sleeves. You pick you usually cast on a few stitches under the arm, and then the total stitch amount will be, and there you're gonna look for the number that you calculated from your swatch. So let's say I have 15 stitches per 10 centimeters, and if you have 100 centimeter hip size or bust size, then it is, you look for the number of 150 stitches, right? It is not, it's not hard at all, depending on, of course, the size you have. So that's actually what I do a lot. And even if you somehow get gauge, I still like to check that, because sometimes um, the pattern writer gives you either the finished measurements or the measurements, I don't know, sometimes it's still a bit messed up. Maybe it's messed up in my brain, that is very likely, but I still like to check it, especially with drops patterns. You hear that a lot, that they are so much more oversized than anybody expected, so I will better check my gauge against the numbers they use for the patterns and choose a smaller size if needed. Then you just rely on whatever they tell you, and then you end up with some misery because it's either too big or whatever. Just, it is a very easy thing to check. And even a gauge swatch, I just make a small one, and I do not wash it. It preferably, of course, you do wash it, but so many times I still have, after I washed my gauge, changes on a larger project. You start knitting in a round. I found I was stressful. I was like, oh, my Birkin, it's like they want, the stitches will not move over my needles. I really was knitting tighter. So the mood also changes whatever you're doing. But I want to be roughly know how wide my garment will be. And I don't care if there are 5 more stitches or what happens in the end, but at least I know I will fit in there. So we're getting pretty close. If you want to make a bigger swatch and then, of course, wash it and dry it, that is awesome. Of course, do that. Some people know exactly what gauge they get at a certain yarn they use all the time. That is also great. Then you can use that as a starting point. But this is kind of what I do. It is very quick. It is easy. You don't even have to cast off your swatch. I just measure it and I write it down, usually in Ravelry, with the needle size, which is also a thing. And then I just unravel it and start knitting. It takes no time at all, not even an hour. So my ranunculus, why does it take so much words? So I actually finished the body and I started the sleeves, and I had my 5mm needles for the sleeve needles in use for a different project, which I brought but did not write down, but it's okay. So I do it magic loop, so the sleeves are together on one long needle. And yeah, well, it's not the best way to show you how beautiful it is. I did reknit the bottom hem, because even though all the beautiful things with the gauge swatch, it was a very relaxed knit, and probably my gaze changed. So I tried it on, I bound it off, and I thought, okay, that is just too wide for my comfort. The body's okay, but if the hem is that floppy, I would like it a bit tighter. So I went actually from a 5mm to a 4. I unraveled it and went down to a 2.75, and it is much tighter. I mean, it's not tight, it draws in a bit. You can see it here. See, and not much, but enough for my comfort. And yeah, now I'm working on the sleeves, and that it is so soft. And I did a neckline, and I tried it on, and I unraveled again, and I did it again, and now it fits really, really, really nice. And I know while you wear it, it will still stretch a bit bigger, but I have so many sweaters and tops that I just keep pulling up because your bra straps, or I mean, it is also part of my body construction, but because at some point they said, okay, you go in your underwear and you take a picture, and then you draw lines, and then look at your shoulders. And my shoulders, I like that. One shoulder is way lower, and I know my spinal column has an S curve in it. I'm a bit crooked, but that explains why I always have something falling off my shoulder. That's a very interesting thing to do, though. And with the selfies and everything, like you put it on the timer and nobody else has to know. But it was a very, very good thing to do for yourself. And some people have it with the hips. And then if you make a skirt or anything else, it looks like the skirt is skewed. It's like one size is longer, but that's actually the human body. That happens. So I know that. So I prefer, even though I love the look of a wider neckline, it's starting to annoy me. This morning I wore a top. I put it on the bed, and I thought, oh, I'm constantly pulling up. It's just uncomfortable. So this is a very, it looks like a tight neckline. It is absolutely not. And it has beautiful short rows. It also had short rows on the front, but I did not want it because you get more the boat neck effect. I really wanted the scoop neck, so I omitted that. And for the rest, it is a simple pattern. It is a really simple pattern. It's not even, I mean, it is written okay, but there are no charts, nothing. So it is a very popular pattern. But sometimes I really need to think a little bit about what do they want me to do. But it's just very easy, and if you follow it, it's not a problem. And I put this on, and I was like, oh, it is very soft. The color is so calming. I really like it. I think I will enjoy this a lot. I'm kind of working on this a lot. It goes very fast, 5mm needle, and yarn is soft, and yeah. Then I have another project here in that basket, and I'm just trying to crack my brain what this project is called. Is it the Maya cardigan? It is a free pattern, and many people knitted it. Many people, and I made it into a sweater. So I finished this, the yoke, the color work on the bottom, and I'm working on the sleeves, and this is where my short circular 5mm needles are in. But we had some real warm weather, and this is not something you can knit when it's so warm. It's such a it's a very heavy, it's very warm, it has color work. I almost run out of the contrast color, which is a bit sad because there is supposed to be kind of a lot on the bottom of the sleeves. I think I will just add only one, maybe that leaf pattern. I don't know. I will use whatever I have. I will not get it like this is. It's just the way it is. That is, if you use your hand spun or you use stash yarn, sometimes you have to make do with what you have, right? I just wanted to show you this because it had quite a lot of attention. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I remember I told you I overdyed it because it was a peach color. That was not something I could wear. It was something I could wear. I just didn't know it. But it's also something I can wear because it's a muted color. And it's quite stunning. It will be definitely for winter because we had some real warm days. But now we're under the 20 degrees again, which is also nice. I have one more project I want to show you. It is a blanket, and it is crochet, and I do it in the linen stitch, and I use 3 colors, and there are all colors from my stash. I have one color, this is a gray, that is Stylecraft yarn. It's because I just want to get rid of that. And I have 2 colors, 2 blues, and that is Daramo's anti-pilling special decay, something like that. And the linen stitches is a very simple pattern, but it marbles the colors really nice. it's just like one single crochet, one chain one, and then skip one stitch, and then a single crochet, chain one, and keep continue that, and the next row in the chain one you do the single crochet. It's really, I think they also call it the moss stitch, maybe they call it a moss stitch for crochet, I'm not sure. But so once in a while, I don't think it has a front and a back, to be honest. So this is how far I cut. It will be a single bed, maybe not even, but I can make it into whatever. It will be for a friend. It will be shipped away when it is finished. It's hard to show actually, because it is kind of, well, you can see it like this. See, and the inside and the outside, or the reverse side, they are both looking the same, which is really, really nice. And yeah, well, this is a blanket I will be working on now and again, since I now have my chair I was talking about a while back, and I think I will start doing a little bit of personal stuff. Maybe there's not much, but I will talk a little bit, because I've been away for a while, and people reached out to me if I was okay, and yeah, I'm totally okay. Um, I still get messages on that one episode with my emotional support chicken, which seems also be the episode I tell you a bit about my personal life, what happened to me, what yeah, well, was all not so very happy. Actually, it is very happy, but no, the story was not so happy, but the outcome was shockingly, and I got many kind comments that really touched my heart, and it also is a very emotional. You kind of somehow it hits you hard, but it's also I also tell them and read them for my boys, because I think they are a very big part of whatever we accomplished. So that had an amazing amount of views. I never had so many views in my life, and thank you so very much, and likes, and I also had many new followers after that. So that's really amazing. We have so many podcasts here. It is very nice if you find somebody who you can kind of connect to, or somebody who inspires you. I'm always looking for new podcasts. Uh, so yes, I have been fine. I have been struggling with allergies a lot. My cat is seriously going into the trash can for no reason, and I'm afraid he's going to bump over the tripod, because that happened before. Hey, how's up? So allergies, that made me so tired. I've slept so much, and I found it so annoying. But I'm not sure if it is the allergies or it's a combination of, you know, I lived a life or of a lot of anxiety and stress, and that is not just a way like this. And my specialist for my arthritis, she always said, with the medication I swallow, it is also very hard to get that stress hormone out of your body. So I can only imagine, after a life of all kinds of things, you kind of continuously have that flight and fight mode. And um, in July we will be gone for 1 year, but I will not be surprised if it takes that long and even longer for the body to recover. So that might also be kind of the side effect, that I was really tired. And everybody has to be kind to themselves. And I'm kind of rebellious, like, what that doesn't even mean, you know. I'm being kind, but I don't want to sleep all day. I want to knit, I want to be happy, I want to feel happy, I want to feel thankful. Doesn't work like that, does it? It all needs time. And yes, I feel all those things. I am very thankful, but that doesn't automatically mean you will be walking on pink clouds all the time. There are many things inside that needs to be processed, and yeah, that's gonna take time. So I did not feel like appearing in front of the camera. That is often a reason I cut my hair, because I somehow feel so locked up in myself, like so unhappy with everything I see, I think, everything I am. I feel so horrible, and somehow I feel like if I cut my hair, I cut off all that misery and all that unhappiness, and then things will be fine, which is absolutely bogus. Don't believe anything about it. But I am very happy with this, actually, and I'm already very warm. So after this, I will put it in a ponytail. But I am very happy with it, and it is. I have a lot of hair, and it is so much easier to care for now, because the long hair takes forever to dry, and well, you know all that. Okay, it's very amusing for cats if there is a little bit of yarn dangling around. So after I had all that, there were still things in the house that needed to be done. I have uh, give I mean, there were builders in the house that were making a toilet in my bathroom. The previous owners decided to remove it years and years and years ago, and I really needed it back, because walking down the stairs in the middle of the night, and no, that's not a thing. So actually, they did that in 3 days. They were still 3 long days, because there were many people in the house. There were some electric things that needed to be done. And then my son woke me up in the middle of the night and said, "Mom, you cannot use the toilet because it is full of water and it is not getting out." So it was not raining. So apparently the sewers were cut off from the bathroom to the public sewers, and they just cut it off under the floor. And we had a pipe that just filled up with water, and it couldn't go anywhere. And that was 5 weeks ago, and we are still waiting for that to be fixed. There have been people coming, taking pictures, leaving. After that, you hear nothing. You have to call again. Then they appear and they say, "Oh, we don't have enough time. We have to come back later." And later, nobody shows up. And now they say Wednesday it will be fixed. But I don't believe a word they say anymore. And that is I mean, yeah, we we all get upset, of course. My sons try to keep me calm and say, "Okay, it doesn't matter," and then again they don't show up because something happened to the planning, and then suddenly my son said, "Mom, we have been plenty patient." I said, "Yeah, but what do you want me to do? I mean, they just don't show up, and they blame each other, and it doesn't help. I mean, I put a bucket in my toilet. I have my toilet, but I cannot use my toilet. So I put a bucket in my toilet and I use it like that, just for emergencies. I mean, I am pretty bummed about it, but at some point it will happen. So I also ordered some window shutters. This is an older house. The insulation, of course, is less. The summers are getting warmer. We have beautiful big windows downstairs, but that living room turns into an oven so quickly. It's just, even in spring and winter, if the sun is just shining, the temperature goes up to 22, 24, even in high summer 28, and that with the dog downstairs is just way too warm. So yeah, we all have that. The planning was amazing. They said when they were coming, and they were coming, and they were done in time. So that was all fantastic, and we are very happy with it. Yeah. And then what else? Yeah, they called me. They will replace my central heating tomorrow. This is a rental home. So here in the Netherlands, they signed many contracts of how, for the EU, they have obligations to cut down on energy uses, gas usage, that kind of stuff. So rental companies have to, of course, oblige to that. So for me, that means absolutely nothing, except somebody will be in my house again. And with my red cat, he just knows how to climb the ladder to the attic, but he cannot get down. So I have to lock him up, and that is kind of the thing you constantly have to look at. They keep doors open, that kind of thing. You have to look after your cats. They are safe. They won't go out. And yeah, well, people walk in and out. My dog doesn't like strangers, so I also have to look after him. So he nothing bad will happen. I mean, yeah, if you most people don't really like it if people are working in their house, but um, it's only half a day this time, and I'm sure I'll survive. It will take up a lot of energy. I know that too. So maybe that's also part of the tired, and I don't. Yeah. So overall, we are doing really, really well. I also, think, I didn't think I told that. That I don't think so. I also bought a car. I had an electric car, a very tiny one. Oh, my cat just wants to claim all the attention. I had an electric car that didn't get so far, and that was annoying because we have cats that needs. Are you done? Nee, dat kan niet. We have older cats that need attention. You need to go to the vet, and we can't because we don't have any transportation. So yeah, I decided to buy a car. I know after all the divorce, things were final. Thankfully, there was some money, so I could do that. Gave me some sleepless nights because I don't like spending money, especially on cars and that kinds of stuff. But it was necessary, and I'm super, super thankful because with Max, we had to visit the vet every week, and he is doing much better now, thankfully. But yeah, if you live in a small town and we don't have, yeah, I have two old neighbors, acquaintances, maybe you call them friends. I don't know. I don't have many friends. I don't have any friends actually. Maybe somebody would say, okay, we're friends, but I could definitely call them in an emergency. A few times did, but you cannot rely on somebody every week to bring you to the vet. That's just for me. That's too much. So I am very thankful we can do that. I can do it now by myself, and also hospital checkups and those things. I can go there by myself now, which is very good. I'm very happy about that. So yeah, many changes, also very good changes. I mean, life is good, life is calm. We don't have arguments. We are a very good team, me and my boys. I know I'm so very grateful for it. It doesn't mean we do have to deal with a lot of stuff from the past that is constantly hanging above your head. We are all trained to be somebody we are not, and now we have to find out who we are, and we don't have to be quiet. We don't have to make up stories. We can just be who we are. So then I even bought a television. Didn't want a television in my life, but if you're feeling down, it's a nice distraction. I'm not really a TV person. I try to avoid all the misery and but I feel like it helps me now. Before the night, I watch a podcast or I listen to music, and that keeps my mind distracted. Usually in the evening and during the night, all the things bubble up, you know, from the past. Yeah, that's just how it goes. But I'm very glad. I'm so much enjoying my knitting again. It was gone for a little bit, but now it's back, and I think we are on the totally on the right path. I want to cast on all the things, but I will not. I will finish things first, and there are still many projects that are in a phase that it can be finished in a certain period. So I have my beautiful purple chair that I really liked, so I can sit here and knit, and um, yeah, as my insides get calmer, I will sit here more often. My whole thinking was that Molly, my older cat, would accompany me. She will definitely do so. She is staring at me right now. So we can spend a little bit more time together, because that doesn't go so well with the dog. We keep them separated since we live here, and that's a little bit sad. But okay, we just have to keep them both safe, and don't force anything. That's never a good thing. So I am thinking, I think I should stop thinking and say goodbye to you. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I think I can introduce myself again. It's a bit strange on the end of the podcast. I think in future podcasts, if you're new here, you will definitely figure out how, what, and where. And yeah, I already talked about my two sons and about my two cats are here with me. One cat is in the room next there. It's my mom's cat, and my oldest son is looking after him. And downstairs there's a dog, and yeah, it's just the three of us here, and we are trying to rebuild our lives as good as possible. Yeah, life is good, yeah. And one of the most important things I try to learn something every day. I still watch podcasts about abuse and those kinds of things. And one thing that I wrote down was, don't worry about things you cannot change. And that is where so much energy goes, huh? You worry about, oh, I wish I did this or did that, or I wish I didn't make that mistake, or but that's no point. There are things you can change, and you should really put your energy in there. So that's also that was, and it sounds so easy, and it is really hard, but I keep remembering those things, and also live in the now. Where you think about. I start thinking about things in my teenage years. Those things all suddenly are so vividly alive, because somehow you look for answers anywhere, and that can totally consume you. So no, I figured out what happened. I figured out I did everything in my power and more to make it work, but it was an unworkable situation. It was an unsolvable situation. So that book is closed now. I know it wasn't my fault. Yeah, sure, you wish it was differently, but things happen at a certain point in time if you're ready for it. Yeah, that's how it goes. It doesn't mean I didn't see something was really, really wrong, but as soon as you start accepting something is wrong, you can no longer live with yourself. You can no longer live with the situation. So you have to um, convince yourself there are good things, right? And the bad things you try to forget. So, not thinking about yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, And also don't think about next year because you want to go somewhere, but actually you're living now. And I told my son this. I said, how many times I drink my coffee and then I look, it's like, I drank my coffee. I can't even remember I drank my coffee. And that is kind of slowing down your life, being aware of what you're doing. Just put down everything and just take your coffee, feel the warmth of your cup, enjoy the taste, the smell, be in the now more. And that is something, you're on autopilot, your mind is constantly drifting anywhere and everywhere, and you forget, you just are not in touch with the simple things you can enjoy. And if you can enjoy the simple things, that makes you better, that makes you calmer, that makes you more focused. Yeah. And that is something you can do with everything. I learned that years ago, that somebody said, like, stroke your cat like it is the first time you feel a cat. If you see a baby touching a cat, it's like they grab the first, like, it's so soft. And that is things you can focus yourself and calm yourself. And if you cut up an onion or whatever, focus on what you're doing, focus on the feeling, on maybe not the smell of onion, but there are many things you can do more mindfully, and that helps you. And I can feel, and I'm in a very good moment right now. That might change very rapidly though, but for now I have to hold on to that, hold on to the good feeling, and try to make the good feelings last longer, and not get sucked into that dark energy that just kind of ruins everything. But that's very hard. But definitely we can do it, and we have each other, and we have our knitting and small things in life. They will absolutely make the difference. Not a big event, but the small things, and if you can hold on to them and make them part of your life, then they definitely make your life better. So before I start rambling, and I have a tendency to do that. So I am so very grateful for all of you here. I'm grateful for your likes. I'm grateful even if you watch and you don't like, because I know if you watch on a TV or something, liking is kind of a more difficult. It takes more effort. Comments would be thankful, would be very appreciative. I always like hearing what you're working on, of course, but I can totally understand if you want to skip that. I'm not so very good in finding questions for you to answer. Maybe at some point that will come. Um, we are all people, and we are evolving, and we creating our own space here. And if you feel comfortable here, then you're more than welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And if this is not for you, of course, you're free to find somebody who is, because there are many of us here. So yes, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was very happy to talk to you again, and I hope to be here soon again, because you never know about life. But I am fine, and I will definitely show up again, because I really enjoy talking to you. So until we meet again, I wish you a happy crafting and all the love from my side. Bye bye.